went into the Lorentz machine, which was then deciphered, and then transmitted by radio by the Germans between parts of the German High Command. Now, this is, we have actually got here a teleprinter message. So that's what teleprinter messages sound like. And that teleprinter message is actually coming from Germany. Not in World War II, but now. There's a very convenient German weather station which still transmits its weather reports by teleprinter. We found it as a method of showing what they sound like. So that's what teleprinter messages sound like. And it's pretty obvious from that human beings can't read teleprinter. You can read Morse code, but you certainly can't read that. So what they had to do in order to get the intercepted signals was to ink pen record signals on a thing called an undulator. There's a strip of paper tape there with an ink pen, and that records the 5-bit patterns coming off of the radio receiver. And then somebody had to sit and read those 5-bit patterns in order to get the text of the message that was being intercepted. And that was then sent to Bletchley Park. Now, the Germans began to use this machine in early 1940. We intercepted some signals, realised they were teleprinter, realised they were in code because it was gobbledygook, but knew nothing about this machine until the Germans made one horrendous mistake. The 30th of August 1941, the German operator had a long message of 4,000 characters to be sent from Athens to Vienna. And he correctly set up this brand new top-secret Lorentz cipher machine, and then turned all 12 wheels to a particular set of wheel start positions. And then he transmitted a 12-letter indicator, which was a coded way of telling the operator in the exact settings he was about to use, because both machines had to be synchronized. This was a real-time link end-to-end. They got them synchronized. He then keyed in 4,000 characters of German text by hand. And when he got the end of keying it in, the German operator at the receiving end said, didn't get that, send it again. Not a good idea for a secret message. And the German operator at the sending end compounded it by saying, well, nobody can possibly break this brand new top secret cipher machine, just reset it. Forbidden to do that. You never reset a cipher machine, but he did. He turned all 12 wheels to exactly the same wheel start position he just used on the first failed transmission. And then, because it was his procedure, transmitted exactly the same 12-letter indicator, he told the world he'd done this stupid thing of putting the machine back to the same start position. And then he began to key the message again by hand. And when we finally decrypted it, the message began with the German phrase, Spruch Nummer, message number. Not a good thing to begin every secret message, is it? And the first time he keys in Spruch, N-U-M-M-E-R, rest of text. Second time, he keys in Spruch N, I'm thoroughly annoyed and pissed at this, NR. Now, NR in German is a shortening of the German word Nummer, just like our NO in English is a shortening of our word number. So he shortened the entry by 4 characters to save his fingers, which meant the text from that point was shifted on the second one compared with the first one, the old text. When he got to the end of the second transmission, it was 400 characters shorter than the first one, where he'd been shortening words down the text. The messages were intercepted in England. Interceptors realised, indicators saying, possible big boo-boo, sent post-haste to Bletchley Park and arrived on the desk of John Tilton. Now, John Tilton was a top code breaker here. He'd already worked out this was probably what was technically known as a Vernam additive cipher, which was a very simple but very powerful way of enciphering teleprinter characters invented by Gilbert Vernam in America in 1918. And what Gilbert Vernam had realised was, if you wrote down the bit pattern, the 5-bit pattern for a letter, and on the tape it's hole, hole, no hole, no hole, or in modern speak 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, write the pattern for another letter, and now add those across modulo 2, 1 plus 0 equals 1, 1 plus 1 equals 0, get another character, and because of the modulo 2 addition, this is a cyclic set. And what that means is, if this is a secret character you want to send somebody else, you add your own private obscuring character to it, modulo 2, and transmit the result as the cipher character. The intended recipient receives the cipher character, adds back the obscuring character, peels it off, and reveals the plain text. A very simple but very powerful additive cipher. And Tiltman thought this new transmission they were getting probably was a Vernam cipher, and therefore he could write out these two ciphertexts letter by letter, one above the other, and now manipulate those in pairs because the key stream was the same on both transmissions. He began to do that. He got through Sprook N, got to Sprook U, R, found the difference, and he was in. Yep. And after 10 days of hot brain cells, John Tiltman had worked out both of those German language texts completely from the combined mistake of resetting the machine and then keying the second one just slightly different to the first one, so I gave it away. And then he was able to add character by character the German language text, the ciphertext, and reveal 4,000 characters of pure key streams generated by this top secret German cipher machine. And that was given to a young gentleman called Bill Tutt. And Bill Tutt was a brilliant mathematician. And Bill Tutt in the research section here in Bletchley Park, over the next 2 months, worked out the whole logical structure of that unseen German cipher machine from that one mistake the Germans made. And that is now reckoned as being one of the greatest achievements in World War II, breaking that cipher.
Wow.
I give lectures all over the world about code breaking in Bletchley Park. A few months ago, I gave this lecture to a room full of hardened modern computer security specialists. At that point I said, we don't make those mistakes nowadays, do we? They all went white and reached for their sick bags, because that gave us the entree, literally, into the communications from Hitler to his generals and the whole of the German High Command. One mistake.
So that was stupid
Tiltman
saved 22 million lives.
Yeah, and Tiltman in his memoirs after the war said almost certainly without that German mistake, he would never have broken the Lorentz cipher machine.
And how many of the Lorentz machines would there have been? Because Enigmas, there would have been thousands and thousands.
Oh, there were only about 70 or 80.
Right.
So these were German high command machines.
Yeah.
This was the top grade stuff. They quite often literally messages from Hitler to his generals going on that link.
So the Lorentz machine is the kind of the ultimate, really. Everyone talks about the Enigma,
It was
but
the most powerful cipher system in World War II and for a long time after World War II. Anyway, now having got the logical structure worked out, never having seen it, we could now build our equivalent. And here it is. This was known as the interpreter traffic was the fish traffic. That's the tiny machine. This is our tiny machine here. So now, when the code breakers had laboriously worked out the settings the German operator had used on a particular transmission, they could now configure that machine there, and that was now configured that to exactly the same settings used to encipher the message you just intercepted. So now you can key in the ciphertext on here, and now comes the decrypt on there.
So it decrypts it straight on the phone.
Yeah, that's right. And so those are, very often that was messages literally from Hitler to his generals coming out on that.
And this is what year? 19...
This is done in 1943, but late 42, early 43 this was done. But the problem still was finding the wheel start positions the operator had used on a particular transmission. But you've got to find those positions before you can decipher the message. And that's an enormous combination, millions and millions and millions of combinations. They did manage to work out some hand methods, but it was very, very slow. So it gave him up to 6 weeks to 2 months to work out a message, and that was far too long. And Max Newman, the boss of the section here, had the idea of using electronics to try and speed up the breaking of the Lorentz cipher. And the first essay was this, a machine we're rebuilding here called Heath Robinson. The Heath Robinson was an artist who drew machines that could never be built. And the code breaker sort of wondered, but this is Heath Robinson. So it's a method of taking the ciphertext on one paper tape, the wheel patterns on another paper tape, and then running those in parallel, searching for their matching positions. It worked, but not particularly well. And then they went to Dollis Hill, and the result of that next one was Colossus.